The more I teach you, the dumber you get. That's something my mom used to say to me and my brothers growing up. God rest her soul. And it sounds like an oxymoron, but I found out that the older I get, the more I understand my mom, right? And that's a very old saying, right? The more I teach you, the dumber you get. And my ex-wife used to always say, it's not a reflection of the teacher. And on the surface, it sounds like that's the case. But I found myself, as I had children, I would say that to my children when I got angry at them. The more I teach you, the dumber you get. And now that I'm a grandfather, right? I say that to my grandchildren, okay? And my oldest granddaughter asked me one day, she said, Papa, what does it mean when you say the more you teach us, the dumber we get? And I was so glad she asked that because it's very important that they understand what it is you're trying to say. And it's an opportunity for her to learn. And what we mean by that is when older folks say that to the younger generation, that means that the road that they are currently traveling, we've been down that road. We've seen these things play out time and time again. We have foresight. We have wisdom. We have all these things that they don't have in order to try to help them make better decisions, to save them some of the pain that we have experienced. We're not going to be able to save them from everything, but save them some of the pain that we've experienced. So we know how when people first fall in love, they 16, 17 years old when they fall in love, we know primarily how those things end. Now, have there been a 16, 17-year-old that been in love and stayed together till they were 80 or 90? Yes, but that's extremely rare, especially today, right? So we already know how that's going to end. We've been down those roads before, right? We know when a person is a drug addict, okay, how that typically ends. They either die of an overdose, or they end up in prison, or something terrible happens, okay? What does divorce do to people? Okay, we already know what happens in those situations when those things happen. So, but people insist, particularly younger people, they insist that no matter how old you get, you just old and dumb, you don't know shit, they know more than you do, and they've been here 10, 12 years, 15 years, but all of a sudden they know more than you know, and you've been here 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, 90 years. How in the hell does a 15-year-old living on this planet under these circumstances possibly know more in 15 years than a person who lived 90 years under the same circumstances? So since that's how 15-year-old people feel, 16-year-old people feel, 18-year-old people feel, they go out here and screw up and fuck up and fuck their life up because they don't want to listen to an elder. They want to do it their way. And now we have to sit here painfully and watch them do it because they insist that they want to fuck up. Now, sometimes experience is the best teacher. You can only learn certain things through experience. And I get it. They have to feel the pain. They have to touch that stove to know that the fire is hot. Okay, so barring all of those things, we understand that. But there's a very old saying, okay? A smart man learns from his own mistakes, but a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. If you can look at other people who in a predicament that you're in, and you've watched them screw it up, that should tell you, I'm not going to do that. I already know how that ends up. But people think they're special. They think they're different. I'm going to do it different. You know, I'm not going to do such and such. And they end up the same way. Same way. When I was growing up, I know a lot of guys that were drug dealers and crooks and ran the street and, you know, thought they knew everything about the streets and so forth. And they go out of town and they deal their drugs and they come back. Somebody's always missing. And you say, well, what happened to What happened to Craig? You know, oh man, they got Craig, son. Yo, he zigged when he should have zagged. He got knocked. Okay, Craig got knocked. So now he either dead or in jail. They still running back and forth, running drugs, doing the same shit. Come back again. Yo, where's Larry? Oh, they got Larry, man. Yo, they got Larry, son. But see, if Larry would have made that left instead of that right, he wouldn't be in the position he's in, man. But they got him. Now Larry's missing. Craig is gone. And they still going back and forth. So how do you think this is going to end? For all of them. They either going to jail, okay, they're going to end up dead, or in many cases, some friends of mine got deported. They weren't from this country and were dealing drugs. And to keep them from going to jail, the other alternative was to get deported. So when we say things like the more I teach you, the dumber you get, we're trying to help you with wisdom to save you from the pain, the mistake, and the error of some things that we've seen and we've been through, and trying to help you navigate those things intelligently and effectively. But young people just don't like to listen. So they want to do things their way and suffer the consequences. And then come back to you later and go, damn, you were right. You were right, man. I knew I was right when I told you. But you insisted you had to learn it this way. So I say for us, people in our age group, okay, keep an open mind, because people do have to make mistakes. And the way I raise my children, and I tell my grandchildren this now, it's not the mistakes that's bothering me, okay, because I still make them. We're all going to always make them. I don't want you to make the mistake. And what I mean by the mistake, that one mistake you can't come back from. That one mistake that's going to take you 10, 15, 30 years to recover from. That's the mistake I'm trying to help you navigate away from. I'm not trying to control your life. I'm not trying to be domineering over you and all that kind of stuff, because people get it twisted. You're just trying to control me. You're trying to control me. No, I'm not. I'm trying to help you. But if you don't know the difference, then go out there and fuck up, because you're going to be calling me, or you may be ashamed to call me and admit that you fucked up something. But that's fine too. You got to learn one way or the other. There are easy lessons and there are hard lessons in life. You have to decide which way you're going to take your lessons. I'm out.